shortly.
Hello.
So just sort of jumping back and forth, just a quick update. I've emailed our Community Wellbeing Solutions Working Group to try and get together, because we've got the homeless awareness campaign that the board, sort of under the board umbrella, that we're running hopefully next month. So once we've got more details on that, we'll meet up with the working group, be in touch. Another side of that is actually creating a community voices group. I don't know, just as advisory to the board or just information. So there's, you know, if you can think of any people in the community that could be on that sort of side committee, just if there's any questions we have about what's going on, keeping our finger on the pulse. I know that talking to people like Jeff Rowling, for instance, you know, people that have historic knowledge of this area, or, you know, just good common sense, it's really good to get their input on different things. So that's in that Community Wellbeing Solutions space. Now we'll move on to actions. So page 1. So the standing orders, as you know, LGNZ have put the draft out, or suggested, and council are currently reviewing. So hopefully next month we will start to look. So if you can pull up your current standing orders or look at the other ones, just look at what you think should or shouldn't be in there, any amendments in preparation for that workshop. Number 3. Motueka aerodrome noise update. Are you able to give us an update, Councillor?
I had a request from Gavin to find out what was going on, so I emailed through to Shilpeen, and he come back and said, what date was that? That was on the 3rd of February. I just okay, just received this. The same plane that has been here for a year or so will still be in service until the end of February. The blue plane, now white and red, being the quieter one, hopefully back by the end of February. They now have the parts to finish the job, so are hard at it to get it finished. The company has also just purchased another aircraft with a 4-bladed propeller and is committed to upgrading the whole fleet. It's out of the control of the locals, but they're hoping the timeline will be met this time. So basically the plane that comes back's got a 3-blade prop on it. I thought there was a new plane coming here in December. It did for 2 days. I had to fly the other plane away to get a quick service done and flew it back and took the other one out again. So that was my mistake. It's December, there was a comment thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so that was on the 3rd of February. That's what Stuart been updated me to. So hopefully the end of February we'll have the quiet one back. But there is a quieter one available now by the sound of it.
Okay.
But whether it comes here or not, I don't know.
That's great. I've just asked Deputy Chair to hand out, which I just got before the meeting, letter of a concerned community member. So it'd be good to give him an update.
I did send that email to you, but
It
it's on the 3rd of February as well.
Thank you. Yep, that'd be great. Thank you. Okay, end of this. Barry's going to send me the email and I can go back.
Is there going to be a discussion about the findings that came out just before Christmas in regards to the activities of the aerodrome?
About?
Well, they want to consult us about having a beer on a beach, but we've got a very important. We've got a number of very important things to discuss, and one of them is the aerodrome. There are a lot of people unhappy, and here is another. And as a result of that, it looks like there's a lot of double standards where I can see. Don't look puzzled.
I am puzzled.
Oh,
Lots to it. Because the stuff you're talking about was legal regarding the operation activities, sorry, on the airport regarding buildings and structures. This is to do with aircraft noise.
Yeah, well,
Completely different.
yeah. The aircraft noise, well, we could have sorted this out a long time ago. There is the Dome Valley case, which clearly showed that councils have an obligation. And the council took they investigated a noisy plane complaint, but the Tasman District Council don't seem to have worked under. This is all a lovely voluntary thing. This is just a voluntary thing, isn't it? That's really nice of in-flight and that sort of thing to do. According to Tasman District Council, they don't have to do anything. Once the plane leaves the ground, they don't have to. So this is just, as I said, a very nice thing which in-flight did.
2 years ago, they spent $10,000 on getting a 3-bladed prop developed for that particular aircraft. Took the 2-bladed one off. It was actually the worst the blade we've got here at the moment.
But as you can see, that issue still stands, does it not? Oh.
I'm confused. I think you need
The
to.
TDC, have you not heard about the RO TDC versus the RO aerodrome, which they took an aerodrome to court, and the start of it was a noisy plane? No?
I don't know the details of it.
Okay.
Yeah, carry on.
Well, I know. Here's some more details for you. They lost the case, and it cost a lot of money. Pardon?
You know the details of the case?
I unofficially know some details.
Completely different to the Motueka report.
Is it a plane that's making noise? Yeah, sorry, I'm lost.
No.
You investigated a noisy plane, but here we don't investigate noisy planes. So there's obviously a reason for that, and I don't understand that reason, obviously.
From my understanding of the RRI one was the fact it was an airport up there that, sorry, an airstrip up there that was allowed to be used by the residents. And all of a sudden helicopters started flying in, which wasn't permitted.
But
That's what
the start of it was a noisy plane. They went up there for a noisy plane. No, they didn't. Well, sorry, that's just what I read. That's just what I read.
I can't answer that because I don't know the case.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm completely wrong then. Got it all completely wrong. I do apologise.
I just think maybe if you've got a point you want to make with that, you could add it to our next agenda, just so, because I know I can sense a lot of people.
It's a very sensitive issue, but as I said, all I'm thinking of is there appear to be double standards here. As I said, we're talking about consents for someone living in a caravan, and yet it's generally accepted that there's an awful lot of unconsented things going on up there. I've seen the paperwork. You did.
So
I know this findings seem to think that it's all okay, but
well, member Hughes,
they're not saying.
let's try and we have to get in a methodical order. So I know you've got lots on your plate and lots you want to discuss with the board, but the board's getting confused. So what I'm suggesting is we get it on the agenda so that we can talk through it, because I can see you're trying to draw parallels on different issues. And it's worth us discussing, but it's worth us discussing when everyone's tuned in. So if we can get that on for next.
We're on the same page, just so.
Yeah.
So I've just been
So do
reading
I,
a
yeah.
lot of stuff.
Got a lot.
Everyone's read it. Everyone's read this. I'm sure you've read it, Mr. Kirby.
Well,
Yes.
there are consents for the operations at the airport. Where there isn't consensus, where leases were granted for greater than 35 years, and those are the things we are working through now. It's got nothing to do with the operation of activities on the aerodrome.
But the head of enforcement has said that all businesses operating out of the aerodrome have to have a consent.
That's my point, because they've been given greater than 35-year leases, and it should have been a resource consent before that was granted. So that's what we're working through with each of them to sort out.
But if that was a private person doing that, they'd be in court, surely. No? Well, unless you're a...
Yeah, I don't disagree with the analogy. I know it's a way out analogy, but I think what Board Member Hughes is saying, we enforce hard and to the letter of the bylaw or the law for some instances, and in other instances, we partner up to help navigate the system. So what the analogy is, how do we partner up to navigate the system? for the breach of the TRMP. So I think that's where you go.
Yes, thank you, especially when
And
we are using the same law firm. I've seen they're putting everything into this woman in a caravan, everything. You want to see it. It's just really bad.
There's an analogy, isn't it? You don't
Yet
have
they're
to
using-
throw somebody else under the bus to solve the issue.
That's right.
But because what you're saying is actually you'd like to have a situation where council walks alongside and helps people achieve compliance.
Exactly.
Across
Exactly. Yes.
not just areas that we may manage or
And
own.
we do that as much as we can.
Yeah,
That's the debate. That's the debate.
Provided people want to walk with us, sometimes they don't.
But I think that's the analogy.
Thank you.
Down here. Just
Because
other thing,
Board
Mr. Kirby so the report, I don't think I've read it. Did that go to Enterprise? The first report on the airport.
No, there's no report as yet.
So you haven't seen it because I haven't seen
Still
it.
in the
I haven't
legal,
seen the
still in the legal
unwritten.
process.
Okay.
what did we get before Christmas?
No, there's a redacted version. There's not an unredacted version. I
You've got
just wondered if somebody else had seen
got a
it.
version that probably shouldn't have been put out because there was still one matter outstanding that hadn't been resolved. And it's now being resolved. As soon as that happens, it'll be released.
Thanks, Councillor Maru, for articulating that.
I think that's the point.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
yes,
think you're spot
yes.
on.
That is the point, madam.
Yes.
So
Shows my naivety and the professionalism of council.
I just think
Nothing,
you've
not
got a
good.
lot on your plate.
Just gotta get through that door yet, would you stop?
No, that's good. And that makes sense. So let's move on to, where were we? Okay, so now number 4. So it's come to my attention that the subject that's not quite correctly how it was meant to be framed. It's changed over the meetings. So initially it was in relation to court cases. The questions had gone back. Apparently, through Lagoima, it has been identified there were no cases. So that in fact is null and void now. However, the initial question was around how can council justify their current practice with inspecting dwelling houses without owner's consent and use of search warrants? Because that question was what they, Mr. Schaffner was told was where they got the court cases to determine that. So we just need to update that subject header to that matter.
Through the chair, can you repeat that one?
How can council justify their current practice with inspecting dwelling houses without owner's consent and use of search warrant? Oh, I will email it to you. Yeah. So I did try and go back to our June meeting. However, we're actually missing quite a few recorded meetings and June wasn't there, so I couldn't get all the details, but that was the initial question. Number 6, status of the Motueka master plan. It says council to review in February. No, I've done the wrong one. It says timeframes and details to be determined and confirmed in 2025.
3 councillors could give you an update on that.
Yeah, that was a hospital.
Through the chair, that's
About time you had one.
That's the Kirby plan.
We had a workshop this morning, which was a confidential thingy, but staff are bringing a report to a council meeting in the future regarding a possible master plan, where council will make a decision.
Possible, in other words, it's going to a vote,
Okay.
whether it goes ahead or not by all 13. Oh, if that's in this term, 13 councillors.
There's a report going to go that basically outlines the scope of the master plan. Because the debates about what that scope should include. Yes.
Okay, so it's coming back to the community board. The sometime in the
At some
near
stage,
future.
I'm not sure
At
that
a
the timing of the
scope.
process hasn't been finalised yet.
Sorry,
Yeah.
through the chair,
Don't confuse the Port master plan to the Motueka master plan. So Port Motueka is separate, the structural plan,
Yes,
to the master plan.
yes,
Yeah.
but the master plan's coming back. Master plan's coming to the community board in the near future.
I think
Scope.
it's going to council first in terms of budget,
Okay,
but there's certainly the community board is mentioned as a key stakeholder in the Motueka master plan.
okay.
Because there's debate about cost and budget
Of course.
extent.
and scope
What includes, what doesn't.
Right,
and amount.
okay. Is that gonna be in a private session?
I don't know, be a public council plan.
Going to go to strategy and policy.
There's no, so through the chair, there's no reason for that to be confidential. It's just an operational decision. It's bundle, not the bundle.
Okay, cool. All right, there's no, oh yeah, oh, the oak trees, yeah. No update, but they are not looking pretty. And I wonder, with all of councils, having to rejig maintenance and stuff, which is be good to see that maintenance schedule, if some of those larger trees will be less maintained.
Hopefully they'll understand it's the ones at the AMP ground that fell down over the new year. Luckily, no one was hurt. And it's got a protected tree notice on it. And they're having trouble getting someone from council to come and have a look to see if they can bomb the tree on it.
That was in years. Wow.
We were down there 3 days later and the place was taped off like a prison yard. And what a big branch come down. It was huge. It was about that round. That was the branch.
Yeah,
If it landed on someone, it would have killed them. About three trees in the similar state, but they've all got a protected thing on them. Means you're not allowed to do anything with them.
so that's interesting because they would have all had to have had a arborist assessment.
They are now.
But they would have had to had one before,
Or who knows?
unless they only get them if someone complains.
I think we do inspect protected trees at least once a year.
Yeah, I thought there was a schedule.
You know what that tape was to mitigate people climbing on them and hurting themselves because actually the trees are really down.
But they'd been all cut up firewood over in the corner.
Whereabouts was that, Mary?
Motueka AMP ground. I've told the president to contact, I think Jane Park might be the person.
Okay.
She was gonna ring her this week.
Okay.
Follow that up to see if they can do something because they're absolutely thin bricks. Another piece might fall off.
Yeah. How many are along there just by interest?
I think there's maybe three protected ones. I'm not sure. Oh, don't quote me on that. Please don't quote me.
No, no.
There's three.
Just good to know.
I definitely know there's two.
So councillor Dowler said there's 3.
Limited.
Big ones.
Are they green ones? No, because
No, doesn't have any leaves on it. Well, the one that fell off didn't have any leaves on it. I think it's absolutely poked, but
Okay, anyone got anything else to add in that section of our report / actions? Okay, financial summary, 8 point, oh, sorry. Oh, yes, I haven't even done them. It's been so long. 2 whole months. Okay, so I'll move the report. Can I have a seconder, please?
no, let do it.
It's going to be you. Yeah. Board member Hughes, all in favour say aye. Even again, it's carried, thank you. Financial summary. Right, anyone got any input here?
Might to loan some money to council.
Stop it. So, this is December, so it won't show the recent movement. Okay. So there should be some more funds from our last motion last year. I can't even remember the exact details, but we shifted within the general expenses. We've done a shift which won't be visible on here. And we have upped the discretionary fund.
That's number.
On Thursday.
Yep. Yeah. So, yes, so we've got, there's a fair bit sitting in reserves, I call it reserves. It's, that has to go through council if we want to get anything out. And special projects, there's 41 basically available. We want to put anything out before like in June, and then obviously our new intake will come in June, July. So that's something we need to sort of get onto soon, for official projects. We can talk about that in the actions part. Right, anyone got anything else to add for that? I'll wait for anyone who wants to move. Moved by Deputy Hutt in the seconder.
Go on then.
Go, and Councillor Maru. All in favour say aye. Again, carried. Cool. Okay. Right, special projects update. Can I hand that to you, Deputy?
Right, so open one up to reserve. Not sure where Tony was at. I think the last part was the trees and there was just a little bit of vandalism. that we were doing.
Yeah.
So.
Still
So we're just
work in
waiting to see on that, yeah. The cemetery, list of works and budgets to be provided at the February meeting.
I've got
But,
that, but
I think Tony's away, is he?
Yes,
Yeah, he's away, so, yeah,
okay.
so he'll report back, at the March meeting, right? Okay. So the eyesight map is in production over, image creators, so that was.
Do you have an ETA from Image?
Any day now, I hope. So it was ordered a couple of weeks ago. So I'm hoping it's going to be within the next few days. So I will send an email out and a photo once it's installed.
Nice.
Ted Reed Reserve, they've started the install on that for the playground equipment. They've dug out a nice platform area, so obviously the weather's been a little bit unpredictable, so but work has definitely started, much to lots of the children's excitement in the local area, wondering what's going
I was
on.
gonna say.
So that's great. Shade sale, that's all been ordered, and colours chosen, so literally just waiting for that to be installed. So that's well underway. The Motueka Bridge, the stonework sign. Gavin's spoke to me before the meeting, so we've just got to clarify the actual price of the total project and then work out maintenance, ongoing maintenance. So, and my first question was, how much maintenance have we spent on the other two sites? Because that would indicate
Only cleaning
something,
every now
yeah.
and then. Or if there's something broken.
Replacing a brick or something off the
yeah.
entrance funding.
You know, it would also be good to talk to Nelmac. Pretty sure they're the ones that are mowing out there for the positioning, because that where that pole is, like they leave big tufts of grass. But I will report just quickly, side note, and it is sort of part of special projects in a way. Someone was finally out there with a weed eater and weed eated around the tables,
Oh, nice.
but that's taken months.
Yeah.
So it'll just be maybe
With the table.
Yes.
maintenance stuff.
So,
It's-
yes,
it's an old
just,
one.
yeah, so that will be an ongoing thing. So I'll try and find out what maintenance we've spent on the other signs to give us an indication. And then, yeah, we'll have to just go from there.
Yeah,
So,
because the mowing around the other signs are fine.
yes.
Through the chair, then the next steps then
would be, I'll help Claire just fill in a one-page sort of project like form, and it will go through and state like the costs, the installation costs, the ongoing costs, and then that way it's on record, and then the board can resolve to pay for the ongoing maintenance, and then it just becomes a permanent budget line in your board finances, an annual cost.
So can I just ask a question, please, through the chat? Because the other two signs were part of the community board.
They're not
So
on our budget.
they're not on our budget for maintenance, so I guess my question is, why is this one when we funded the others?
And my question was, are we setting a precedent that every special project we go from here on, are we going to have the same template, and is this board going to be responsible for everything? Because previously Parks and Reserves have added it, rightfully or wrongfully, onto the works order for the contractor. So are we making a stand in the ground now saying from now on, this is what we're doing with special
The
projects?
difference is on whose land it's sitting on. And so that sign at the other end of town there is on NZTA land. The other land of the guys in parks are saying that it's actually on our land, so that's our reserve. So that's the difference.
On the rest, well, reserve.
One down there.
Pay for the mowing then.
It's done by now, Mick, whenever they mow the grass and everything down there, they keep that tidy. The one outside the airport, I'm pretty sure down here, no, it must be council because Nelmick look after it. Oh, hang on, Nelmick look after the NZTA land over here too, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The airport?
Well, I'm absolutely sure it's done by the airport, like, officer, he runs around with his weed eater and just gets the grass down to make it look tidy. Part of his sort of brief.
So the one at the Tallis roundabout I always thought that was NZTA land, so that's on TDC.
I think it's,
Their pocket.
it's a car park, I think, for NZTA. Yeah,
I guess, through you, Chair, that if what Gavin's saying is going to be the process, can we have it really clearly spelt out the difference between each project? So from what I glean, it's because of where the asset is going to sit. Well, the liability as it is to this board, because we signed off not knowing that that was part of the 15K. But I need to get an understanding of, I think it's great that we've got a template, but it would be useful if it's as a template for one project. Because all projects need to have a template for if there is ongoing costs for us.
Yeah, and so it's just a good way for you as decision makers to go, all right, you've got it out, thread there, you can make an informed decision, and then you can't be slammed 2 years down the track saying, you've agreed to this. So it's just one of those steps that we can put in place for you, that we can also go to staff as well and say, well, look, we've got this. Are there any implications? Say it might be with transport, it might be with these different areas that you've got a really good.
Yeah.
So what you saved on traffic management, you're going to pay for your borough maintenance for it.
yeah.
The other question was, because the one at the Tallis roundabout, correct me if I'm wrong, a few years ago there was a stone that was missing. So who paid for that to be repaired? That didn't come to us, I don't think.
Parks and Reserve.
That's really true.
Saying we're moving that goalpost now.
Yes.
I'm really confused now. Is this
Same.
a new template or is this a template we already have?
Well, I mean, it sounds like a new one.
No, it's something that's existed within the policy,
So in the past,
in the special projects policy.
Previous chair, did you not know that?
but
We've never used it.
It's
I was
just-
going to say,
yeah.
wouldn't staff have those questions in the past anyway? Like,
this is,
It's just as much
Much as you take a commitment to putting something in
yes,
for the
so
maintenance,
it's council.
council
Yeah.
probably needs to be aware of it too. You put something in and all of a sudden you expect council to look after it. So
So through this year, but it's interesting, isn't it? So budget line, yes, and maybe some maintenance budget, but it's like the art sculpture. We had a budget line and then we never used it, so we just took it out. It's not even in our budget.
No, we've removed it.
Um,
They haven't used it.
So it's interesting, isn't it? So it's perhaps it gets to the stage where it needs a big makeover, and it's just another special project.
And we
Oh,
I just don't know what you're gonna do to the sign. Unless you're saying because it's on NZTA land, we're now gonna have to mow around it. Wedge around it. Isn't-
Sounds like it.
See the sign? It's about 1/3 on legal road, 2/3 on the estuary. It's not reserve, it's all estuary there.
At the roundabout.
Yep.
So it's a no, thing.
So no man's land, that's right.
It's illegal.
Yeah.
Don't go there.
What is it?
Let's get for a consent to build it in a coastal marine environment.
That's my motion there.
We built it, so it'll be falling.
So that's a little bit of my challenge is that once we've got a form and whole lot of rules, it might prevent us from doing stuff that actually works.
A lot.
But anyway, it's interesting. Sorry, I didn't know the thought was in there.
So that's why we're thinking is that's a good way, and with our financial constraints we've got as well, it's another way just to build in a filter, you know, due diligence.
Most appreciation is not listed on there for.
And one thing that Grant is doing work for now to come back on the annual plan is all the extra things the reserves have been asked to do over the last 4 or 5 years with the existing budgets, including additional reserves, things like this. It's all being, I know, there is a cost to it and it's all being added in.
Might make mowing a few booms, so we've made it safe.
That's right.
Anyway.
It's a cost that we've been carrying within the existing budgets and now it's a challenge.
My tooth came.
Plane's about to land in the right place.
Yeah.
Sorry, just to clarify,
Support your budgets.
Hold on, Deputy Chair's
Give
got,
us some reserves.
Deputy Chair's got a
so just to
clarification.
clarify, I don't want to harp on about it, I'm just trying to understand it. So the new one that we're going to have by the bridge, how, because that's going to be 8 metres in from the road. How far is it until it turns into TDC from
I think it's what
NZTA?
stopped me, isn't it?
What
Didn't
about
we have
here?
that discussion last time?
So whereabouts is it going?
So it's going 8 metres in from the corner, as you're coming from
This side of the bridge?
No.
the Walker side, just on that corner when you go, you come over the bridge,
Yeah.
and then there's a little sort of a gravel
Oh, when
road
you
on the
turn off.
left. Yeah, so it's going to go on that corner, 8 metres from the gravel road and 8 metres from the main road.
That needs to be filled.
On the right-hand side, going
The
out,
left-hand side.
the left-hand side coming towards
It's
that
right hand
you've
side
got-
coming from Motueka,
Where's the bridge?
the bridge is there,
right there.
Oh, yeah, so it's going to go here.
in there.
8 metres,
Corridor, wouldn't it?
8
Do you know
metres
what?
in from
It's
that.
all NZTA land.
Which
And-
already got approval.
Yes, so it's already been approved.
Just thank them for it. Board Deputy Chair, thank them for that and let them maintain it.
Well, the discussion, sorry, through the chair, the discussion I had when we had an on-site meeting with ZTA and WPS, because my question was, when we eventually get a new bridge, what's going to happen to the sign? And they said, well, the cost of putting the new bridge would be funded by NZTA. So the least of their worries is going to be a $15,000 sign. They'll just build us a new one.
Right. Great, got that in writing.
The chances are
They're not going to build a new bridge, they're going to widen the existing one.
Well, yeah.
Oh, going back to common sense. Geez, we only mooted that 10 years ago.
So then through the chair, if NZTA have given permission to put it there.
Yeah.
What is so there is no mow cost one.
Yeah,
They'll
but
just do it as part of their program.
Yeah, the question was more around, like, we don't want overgrown grass everywhere
Right.
like we do by the tables.
And if one of the stones fell out like it did at the roundabout one, who pays for that? So it sounds, yeah.
So that will probably fall on council, not NZTA.
Peter White.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, the NZTA mowed the grass on the side of the state highway coming in today.
Yep.
And instead of doing 2 mile widths, it's back to 1. So they must be saving money too.
Yes. I
Normally the
think
tractor
we're-
goes up, back down my loop, and it goes back a second time.
Yeah.
It only went down once today, and I don't think they'll come back tomorrow and do the second run. So
It started. Have we got any update
I'll
on
have
that,
a look
Richard?
up and then have
The mowing situation from council?
Well, that's about to be debated by the councillors on the levels of service for the
it's
reserves.
been stopped at the moment because of fire risk. Haven't mowed anything. Parked up.
Except around the concrete tables down at the river. That all got done. which should have got done before all the holiday makers came. Okay, anything else, Deputy?
No, that's that.
Contract is set there.
Need a
Oh, yeah.
project, don't you?
Over there. So the mower is saying.
Oh, do we need to move? I need to move that. Okay, so, special projects moved by Deputy Hart, have a seconder,
Oh, yeah, they all go.
Hughes. All in favour, aye.
Aye.
Okay, let's
Get
carry.
out of here.
We are just gonna move into confidential. Or, oh, yeah.
Can I suggest, because you haven't got an item on the agenda as confidential.
Oh.
The standing orders will close the meeting
Yeah,
and I'll give an informal briefing just.
Okay.
Yep, okay.
so we'll just close that as normal.
Sorry, guys.
Lovely to see you both.
I'll
Yeah.
do cut a care. Oops. I'll do cut a care. Okay, kia tau tō rangimaria ki runga i ngā iwi o te ao. May peace reign upon all the people of the world, especially Mr. Hughes.
So I was just helping out one of our long-standing supporters and presenters, so please forgive me. Okay, cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll be in touch.
Oh, so what's this exciting confidential news?
Update in the old library.
You are?
Updates.
Old library.
What we're doing with it?